Howdy, howdy, howdy. We're talking perimeter, we're talking measurement. Let's do this thing. So, I want you to imagine I've got a beautiful bus. I'm just going to build it really quick here. Check this out. Boom. What a beautiful bus. Okay, and I've also got a beautiful little car. Okay, we'll put it right there, get some wheels on it. Cool. And these are all going into my garage. Okay, and you know what? I don't just want one bus though. Let's make a few. Boom. Okay. Cool. Cool. Holy smokes, that's a lot of buses. And you know what? I want at least one more car. Let's do one more car. Okay. Awesome. So now my issue is that I have to build a garage for all these beautiful cars. Okay. And I have to figure out how long this distance, if I'm going to get all the cars inside out of the weather, how far do I have to actually extend my garage? What is the length of my garage going to be essentially? Okay, so from there to there, I'm trying to find that distance so I can put all these vehicles inside there. Now, the first thing I can do is, measure every single vehicle. So let's just say, hey, this car, let's pretend it's 5 meters. Okay, so these cars are absolutely identical. You watched me copy them. So we know that car is 5 meters as well. Okay, cool. Let's say the bus is double. Let's say, well, actually, you know what? Yeah, fine, double. Who cares? Let's say it's 10 meters. And since these buses are all exactly the same, I copied them. They're all 10 meters as well. Cool. Now, how do we figure out how long this garage is going to be? Well, of course, we could just add all these together. So 5 plus 10 is 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. 20 plus 10 is 30. And 30 plus 10 is 40. Cool. So my garage has to be 40 meters long. Awesome. This method works and there's nothing wrong with it. However, there's a more efficient way we can actually do this. What we can say is this. Instead of having these values down, what we can do is assign a variable to each. And a variable is any letter that is standing in the place of a number. So I've got a car here. Yeah, we'll use a C to represent that for sure. Let's make it bigger so we can actually see it. Cool. Yeah, so C. C for that car, C for this car, because they're both the same, right? They're both cars. And what letter should I use for my bus? Well, of course, a B. That makes sense. Yep, cool. B for bus, B for bus, whoops. And B for bus. Okay, now you may be thinking, Lewis, this is not making more sense. Don't worry, it's gonna. Give me a second. So I'm trying to figure out the distance of my garage. Okay, well, let's do that. D, what's my distance? What's that gonna equal? Well, I know that it's gonna equal all of these cars added up, all these vehicles added up. So how many cars do I have? Well, I've got 2 cars. Okay, so 2 cars, because there's 2 of them. 2 C's, 2 cars. Okay, now I'll add the buses in too. How many buses do I have? Well, I've got 3 buses. Okay, what I've just created here is a rule. This rule tells us how long this garage will be. And what all I have to do now is plug in how long the car is and how long the bus is. So how long is that bus? Well, we said the car was 5 meters, right? So let's do that right there. And we said the bus was 10 meters. Okay, cool. So now we know what C is and what B is. And now my next step of math is just plugging those numbers in. So my D drops down, my equal sign drops down, the 2, that'll drop down as well. But the C, I don't want the C to drop down. I'm going to put some brackets in place and I'm going to plug in whatever C is equal to. So C is actually 5. So I'll put in the 5. The plus sign, yep, it drops down. The 3, yep, it drops down. And the B, well, what is our B? B is equal to 10. I'll put in 10. Cool. Next line of math. D drops down. Equal sign drops down. And then I just have to start simplifying. Don't forget about bed mass. Bed mass tells us the order of our operations. And if you remember BEDMAS, it tells us that multiplication happens before addition. And remember, whenever a number is touching a bracket, it's just saying multiply. So we want to do the multiplication before the addition. So 2 times 5, yep, that's 10. Plus sign drops down. 3 times 10, yep, that's 30. Next line of math. D drops down, equal sign drops down. And the last operation I have is just to simplify this addition. So 10 plus 30 is 40. And I'm not quite done yet because I have to have my unit. It's 40 meters. And I absolutely need to make sure I'm circling my answer. Cool. Now you might be thinking, well, Lewis, that was way more complicated than just adding the 10 plus 5 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5 or whatever. And you're not wrong. But the beautiful thing about this rule, this formula that we've created, is that we can use it for any garage in existence, even if the cars are a different length, even if the buses are a different length. So check this out. Let's say my car wasn't 5, and let's say my bus wasn't 10. Let's say we are giants, and instead our car is 25 meters long. And let's say our bus, let's make that, I don't know. Let's make it crazy. Let's go 200 meters. Why not? We're giants. Okay, awesome. So let's go back to our rule here. Okay, so my next line of math, well, I don't know what the distance is yet, so it drops down. Oops, gotta make this bigger. Sorry, guys. So my D, yep, it drops down. Equal sign drops down. 2 drops down. And then what do I put in place for C? Well, C is equal to 25, so I put in 25. Plus sign, yeah, it drops down. Oops. Plus sign drops down. My 3, it will drop down too. And now the B, though, what's B? Well, B is equal to 200, so let's plug in 200. Awesome. Next line of math. D drops down, equal sign drops down. And now I have to think order of operations, BEDMAS. Well, what comes first? Multiplication or addition? BEDMAS, B-E-D-M. Multiplication comes first. So 2 times 25, yep, that's 50. Plus sign drops down. 3 times 200, yep, that's 600. Next line of math. D drops down, equal sign drops down. 600 plus 50 is 650. And I'm not quite done yet because I need to have my units. And I absolutely have to circle my answer. Cool. So I can see that this rule that I just made to describe how long my garage has to be for 2 cars and 3 buses, this rule will work for any car length and for any bus length. Now, what the heck does this have to do with geometry and shapes and measurement? Well, if I have a shape like this, which of course is a rectangle, we're going to assume that these are right angles. So these are, this is a rectangle for sure. We can see that this rectangle has 1 pair of equivalent sides and a second pair of equivalent sides. What I can do is assign a variable to these sides just like I did with the bus and the car. So I'm going to call this side, A. I better make it big enough to actually see. Okay, so that side is going to be A, and since these are the same, this is also going to be an A. And since these 2 sides are the same, they'll be the same variable, but should I call them an A? No, I shouldn't, because this side is clearly not the same as that side. So I'll use a different variable. It'll be a B. And this side over there is the same as that B, so it better be a B as well. Okay, so now we're talking perimeter, right? Well, remember the perimeter is the distance all the way around the shape, all the way around, okay? So now what we can do is make a rule or a formula that describes this perimeter. So first I'll start with P, and that is equal to, well, I could go A plus B plus B. That would be me adding all 4 sides up, absolutely. But this is not super efficient. We don't like a repeated addition. If we can help it, we can make it into a multiplication. That's more efficient. So how many A's do I have? I've got 1, 2. 2A. How many B's do I have? 1, 2. I got 2B. There's my rule. There's my formula that's going to work for this rectangle and all rectangles in existence, actually. So next line of math. P drops down. Equal sign drops down. 2 drops down. Uh-oh. What am I forgetting? I don't know what these distances are. So you know what? Let's just create some out of thin air. Let's say A is equal to 5 centimeters. And let's say B is equal to 3 centimeters. Okay. Let's plug in some numbers now. So for A, there we go. For A, we said that was 5. So I'll plug in 5 for A. Let's get this evened up so it's neat. There we go. Plus sign drops down. 2 drops down. And what am I plugging in for B? Well, B is 3, so I'll plug in 3. Next line of math. Oh, geez. Sorry, guys. There we go. Next line of math. P drops down. Equal sign drops down. And I'll multiply first because it comes before addition. 2 times 5 is 10. Plus 2 times 3 is 6. Next line of math. P is equal to 10 plus 6 is 16. I need my units. And I absolutely have to circle my answer. Cool. Okay, let's do one more example. All right, so this time I'm going to make a bit of an irregular shape. And remember, irregular shapes are shapes that aren't symmetrical. Okay, they're just kind of wacky. So let's do it like this. Sure. All right. Okay. There. Okay, so this is a really weird looking shape. Now, let us make some sides congruent or the same. So let's say this and this and this. And remember those little lines, those tell us that those are all equivalent. I know they don't quite measure that way, but we're going to pretend they are. Okay, really good. Great. So first thing, we have to assign some variables to all these different sides. So I'm going to say these ones that are all the same. I'm going to say that these are A, A for this guy, A for this guy. Cool. Now, this side down here, does it have any partners with it? No, it's just the only one. It's on its lonesome. So it'll be our only B. This guy, do I see any others that like it? Nope. So it'll be our only C. And this guy, he's also on his lonesome. He will be our D. Cool. Now, these letters, I can use any letters I want, right? I could go X, Y, Z. Doesn't really matter if they're variables. Okay. Now, let's make our rule. Well, I know the perimeter is equal to all these sides added up. So first I'll start with A. How many A's do I have? I've got 3. 3 A's. Plus, how many B's? 1 B. How many C's? 1 C. And how many D's? 1 D. Cool. So there's my formula. There's my rule that's going to work for this shape, regardless of how long A, B, C, and D are. So let's figure out, let's just make some numbers up out of thin air. Let's say A is equal to 4 centimeters. B is going to be equal to 12 centimeters. C is going to be equal to 8 centimeters. Now, in your guys' questions, these numbers will be given to you. So don't worry about that. And D is going to be, oh geez, I don't know, 10 centimeters. Why not? Okay, awesome. So now we've got our values here. Let us use this formula to figure out the perimeter of this shape. So perimeter is equal to P drops down, equal sign drops down, 3 drops down, and in place of the A is 4. A is 4. Okay, and then we'll plus, what is B? Well, B is 12. What is C? Sorry, I'm gonna watch what's going on. C is 8. And what is D? D is 10. Awesome. Okay, next line of math. I have to use BEDMAS to follow the proper order of operations. So I see a bunch of addition and I see a multiplication. Yep, multiplication comes first. And everything else just drops down. Okay, next step. I see a whole bunch of addition. So I'll just add it all up. 12 plus 12 is 24. 24 plus 8 is 32. 32 plus 10 is 42. I need my units, and I absolutely have to circle my answer. So there you have it. You have a shape, You assign variables to the sides. Then you create your rule, and you can use that rule to calculate the perimeter. Happy measurement, happy geometry, happy perimeter. Thanks, guys. See you later.